Cops unleash K9 dog on black waitress, unaware that a billionaire is watching. What if just doing your job could put your life at risk? What if the color of your skin made you guilty before you even spoke a word? And what if the person watching, silent in the crowd, wasn't just anyone, but someone powerful enough to change everything? You won't believe how one ordinary night turned into a fight for justice that shook an entire city. Stay with me till the end. Tiana Brooks wiped sweat from her brow, her apron stained with ketchup and coffee. At 24, she carried the kind of exhaustion that came from years of fighting battles no one else saw. Her braids were pulled into a tight bun, her smile a practiced mask for the ache in her feet and the worry in her heart. Rosie's Diner was her second job this month, the first being a soul's daily grind. Together, they barely paid the rent for the one-bedroom apartment she shared with her little brother Malik, in a South LA neighborhood where gunshots were as common as crickets. 2 years ago, their mother Diane had been the one hustling tables, her laughter filling every room. Cancer took her fast, leaving Tiana with a 10-year-old Malik and a hole in her heart. Their father? Long gone, a ghost before Tiana was even born. No aunts, no uncles, no safety net, just Tiana, Malik, and a dream that felt further away every day. To open a cafe, a place where people could taste her mother's recipes, where Malik could grow up safe, away from the streets that claimed too many. Malik was her anchor. At 12, he was all lanky limbs and quick wit, his eyes bright with a curiosity Tiana fought to protect. She made sure he stayed in school, his backpack heavy with books, not burdens. Every night, she checked his homework, even when her eyelids drooped. "You're gonna be somebody, Malik," she'd say, ruffling his hair. He'd grin, but she saw the worry he tried to hide, the fear that life would crush them both. At Rosie's, Tiana moved like a dancer, dodging spills and impatient customers. The outdoor patio was packed tonight, the air thick with the scent of burgers and jasmine. Locals mixed with tourists, their chatter blending into a familiar hum. Tiana's tips were good here, but the hours were brutal. She glanced at her watch, 8:47 p.m. 3 more hours, then she'd catch the bus home, make sure Malik was asleep, and collapse before her 6 a.m. shift at the coffee shop. Across town, in a world Tiana could barely imagine, James Holloway sat in the back of a black SUV, his hoodie pulled low. At 38, he was one of America's richest men, a tech billionaire whose apps and platforms shaped how the world connected. But wealth hadn't shielded him from pain. His father, Marcus Holloway, had been a civil rights giant, a man who'd faced fire hoses and batons to demand justice. Marcus's death 5 years ago had left James unmoored, his corporate success feeling hollow against the weight of his father's legacy. Lately, James had grown restless. Boardrooms and galas bored him. He'd started traveling incognito, trading private jets for Ubers, penthouses for motels. He wanted to see the world his father fought for, not from a skyscraper, but from the ground. Tonight, he'd ended up at Rosie's, drawn by its Yelp reviews and the promise of anonymity. His security detail, 2 ex-Marines, lingered nearby, blending into the crowd. James sipped his coffee, his sunglasses hiding eyes that missed nothing. The trouble started at table 7. 2 white men in their 30s, flushed from too many beers, were arguing over a spilled drink. Their voices grew louder, chairs scraping as they stood. Tiana, carrying a tray of milkshakes, glanced over but kept moving. She'd seen worse. The diner's manager Carl was in the back, leaving her to handle the floor. "Man, you owe me a new shirt," one shouted, shoving the table. Glasses clinked dangerously. "Back off, you drunk idiot," the other snapped, fists clenched. The patio went quiet, all eyes on them. Tiana set her tray down, her heart quickening. She'd learned to de-escalate, smile, distract, keep the peace. She approached, her voice calm. "Hey, fellas, let's cool it down. Can I get you some water?" They ignored her, their argument flaring. A woman at a nearby table muttered, "Someone call the cops." Tiana's stomach twisted. Cops in this neighborhood didn't always mean safety, not for someone who looked like her. Sirens wailed before she could blink. 2 squad cars pulled up, their lights flashing. 4 officers jumped out, their boots heavy on the pavement. Tiana stepped back, her hands visible, her breath shallow. She'd been taught this dance young. Stay calm, don't provoke. The officers scanned the scene, their eyes sliding past the two men still shouting, past the white customers filming on their phones, and landing on her. You! The lead officer barked, a burly man with a buzz cut. What's going on here? Tiana blinked, confused. I'm just working, sir. Those two over there. Don't play dumb, he cut her off, stepping closer. His partner, a younger officer, gripped the leash of a German shepherd, its ears pinned back. We got a call about a disturbance. You're the one causing trouble, aren't you? The words hit like a slap. Tiana's mouth went dry. No, sir, I'm just serving tables. Save it, the officer snapped. The crowd murmured, but no one spoke up. Tiana's heart pounded. She saw Malik's face in her mind, his trust in her to keep them safe. She couldn't afford to lose this job, couldn't afford to be arrested. James, in the corner, lowered his coffee. His phone was already out, recording, the lens steady. He'd seen this script before, too many times. His jaw tightened, but he stayed silent, waiting. The officer's radio crackled. He glanced at his partner, then back at Tiana. You're coming with us. For what? Tiana's voice rose, panic breaking through. I didn't do anything. The younger officer smirked. Resisting, huh? He loosened the K9's leash. The dog lunged forward, barking, its teeth gleaming. Tiana stumbled back, her tray crashing to the ground. The crowd gasped, some stepping away, others filming. The dog strained, inches from her legs. Enough. A voice cut through the chaos, deep and commanding. All eyes turned. James Holloway stood, his hoodie still up, sunglasses gone. His presence shifted the air, like a storm rolling in. The officers froze, the dog's barks echoing. Who the hell are you? The lead officer demanded, but his voice wavered. James stepped forward, his phone still recording. Someone who saw everything. You're targeting an innocent woman. Call off the dog. Now. The younger officer hesitated, then tugged the leash. The German shepherd backed down, growling. James's security detail emerged from the shadows, their movements swift but non-threatening. One whispered into an earpiece, the other stood between Tiana and the officers. Tiana's knees trembled, her breath ragged. She didn't know who this man was, but his voice held a power she'd never heard. The crowd buzzed, phones still rolling. The lead officer squared his shoulders. This is police business. Step back. James's eyes narrowed. You're on camera. The whole world's about to see this. You want to keep going. The officers exchanged glances. The radio crackled again, a dispatcher's voice mentioning a high-profile individual. The lead officer's face paled. He muttered something to his partner, and they retreated to their cars, the dog trailing behind. The squad cars peeled out, lights fading into the night. Tiana sank into a chair, her hands shaking. The crowd dispersed, some muttering apologies, others slipping away. Carl, the manager, finally appeared, stammering excuses. Tiana barely heard him. Her mind was on Malik, on the humiliation burning her cheeks. James approached, his voice softer now. You okay? She looked up, her eyes wary. Who are you? Someone who's been where you are, he said, pulling back his hood. His face was familiar, but she couldn't place it. I'm James. I'm going to make this right. By morning, the video was everywhere. James had uploaded it to his platforms, apps with billions of users. The footage, crisp and damning, showed the officers ignoring the arguing men, targeting Tiana, unleashing the dog. Hashtags like #JusticeForTiana and #DinerIncident trended worldwide. News anchors replayed it, pundits debated it, protesters marched outside the LAPD headquarters. James didn't stop there. His legal team, a powerhouse of civil rights attorneys, filed a $10 million lawsuit against the police department, citing excessive force and racial profiling. He met with the mayor, demanding accountability. The officers were suspended, their names splashed across headlines. The K-9 unit's training practices came under scrutiny, sparking city-wide reforms. But James's focus was Tiana. He found her at her apartment, a cramped space filled with Malik's books and Diane's old photos. Tiana was hesitant, her trust battered. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. James sat across from her, his voice steady. "My father fought for people like you, like us. He taught me that power means nothing if you don't use it to lift others. What happened to you? It's not just about you. It's about everyone who's ever been in your shoes." Tiana's eyes softened, but her guard stayed up. "I don't need charity." "This isn't charity," James said. "It's justice. And a chance." He offered Malik a scholarship to a private school, one with science labs and college prep courses. For Tiana, he proposed an investment, not a handout, to open her cafe. "Your mother's recipes," he said, glancing at a framed photo of Diane. "They deserve to be shared." Tiana hesitated, then nodded. For Malik. For Diane. For herself. 6 months later, Tiana stood outside Diane's cafe, its sign gleaming under the LA sun. The grand opening drew a crowd, locals, activists, even a few celebrities. Malik, in a crisp new uniform, grinned as he handed out menus. The air smelled of Diane's gumbo and cornbread, recipes Tiana had perfected over years. James was there, anonymous again in a hoodie. He watched from the back, his father's voice echoing in his mind. "Justice isn't a moment, it's a movement." That night at Rosie's had changed him, too. He'd been drifting, unsure how to honor Marcus's legacy. Now, he knew. At a press conference the next day, James announced the Diane Brooks Foundation, a nationwide initiative to protect marginalized workers and expose systemic abuse. Its first act, funding legal clinics in underserved neighborhoods. Its symbol, a silhouette of a waitress, tray in hand, standing tall. Tiana watched the broadcast from her cafe, Malik at her side. She squeezed his hand, tears in her eyes. The world hadn't changed overnight, but for the first time, she felt seen. Not just as a waitress, not just as a black woman, but as Tiana, someone who'd fought, survived, and dared to dream. As the sun set, the cafe hummed with life. Customers laughed, plates clinked, and Tiana moved through it all, her mother's smile in her heart. In a corner booth, a stranger recorded a video, captioning it, "This is what hope tastes like." And somewhere, Marcus Holloway's spirit nodded, proud, D. Because this isn't just a story. It's a reality too many live every single day.